First of all, congratulations on getting to medical school with, not just in getting to medical school.
That I experienced imposter syndrome where I believed that I did not belong. First of all, I was from a HBCU, small HBCU in Alabama, and no one heard of us. And I was at this big Ivy League school. I was just overwhelmed because like you have to balance your schoolwork and that, and I had immunology. And that class, I was trying, but I was failing at the same time. Trying, bro. Because God really brought me through that. Because I was really challenged, and you adapt. That's what I was looking at. You adapt, and you try to put in the work that you need to be better.
This is The Scene in S.T.E.A.M with Jade Frederick.
Courtney, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
Yes. You know, you were in the first season, so it was only fair that I bring you back. When the first time we did this, you were graduating from college.
Yes.
Seniors. You were just gone to medical school. Very excited.
Very exciting.
And now we're fourth year medical students.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So, one, congrats on getting this far. You're MS4.
Thank you.
You're also leader of Healthcare Sparks.
Thank you.
And what else do? You do so much. You're a peer mentor. Yeah, been doing it all. How have you been since you were here last?
Ooh, how have I been? I feel like my journey since starting medical school hasn't been an academic struggle, I would say. But I would say that I more so struggled with dealing with the workload and learning how to manage that and stress and learning how to discover myself through all of that mess, not having the time to actually stop and understand who I am with all of that. I have had a lot of self-discovery, learning how to undo. I know in the first episode we talked about perfectionism. I don't think that's the word. Perfectionism, yes. Perfectionism. And a lot of that was stemming in perfection and needing to have everything right and having my value tied to how I was doing and what I was doing and comparing myself to others. And a lot of medical school has been learning all of that. And I would say since I have began on learning that, I have become more confident. I've taken on more roles in leadership and what's the word I'm looking for? Challenge myself to do better. Taking on things that I'm uncomfortable with just to prove that I can do it. And also making the conscious decision to realize that fear is a choice. And I don't have to do it, really and truly. Realizing that I do not have to rely on myself to be perfect because God is perfect and He's been very present throughout this entire journey. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, fear is real, especially when you're starting something new. And I think in medical school, it's very easy to compare yourself.
Yes.
Because, you know, after exams, honestly, yes, you want to pass, but there are other, like, levels to passing.
Yeah.
Like, at what level do you want to pass? Or what kind of honors do you want to get? Who else are you looking at? You know, I feel like some people kind of freeze through.
Yeah.
Whereas other people have to put in a lot more work.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of the people that had to, put in a lot of work.
I was doing it too.
And I mean, we lived together. Our first year, we would bring up like our whiteboard, right?
Yes.
Sit on the floor and just go through concepts.
And pray to God first that we would understand it, and it always worked.
It always
worked out.
I always did something because by the end of that night, I'm like, well, what I have learned is that I don't know anything. That is what I've learned. So it's a lot, and I think we just put a lot of pressure on ourselves. How would you say you deal with that anxiety and just kind of the stress that comes with being a medical student and having, constant quizzes and being constantly, tested?
I think that's a good question, but I think that how I've dealt with it, well, since I've had my rediscovery of not being trying to be perfect, which is really impossible at the end of the day. I think in first year, one conscious thing that I did was ensuring that I kept the Sabbath and that I rested when I needed to rest. We have Friday classes after a quiz that you have studied for that's like 15 minutes long and determines how you feel about the entire week. And I was not studying after that. My Sabbath started after that quiz, and I was driving anywhere and everywhere I needed to be. While other people were studying, and sometimes I felt like I was behind on that, but that was what I needed in order to make sure that I was doing what was best for me. That was one of the ways that I dealt with my stress, keeping Sabbath. Another way has been really listening to myself. Oftentimes in undergrad, I wouldn't listen to myself, my body, what it was feeling, and I would constantly be sick. And I found that since I have learned to be like, I'm not learning anything at this point. I'm tired, and it's gonna be here tomorrow, and I'm gonna get it done. And God's gonna have to make it happen because He created the body, and He gotta make me understand it. And it's worked out well for me.
Yeah.
Realizing that I need to exercise, realizing that I cannot be a hypocrite of a doctor, especially lifestyle medicine is very important to me. And if I'm not practicing when I'm preaching, that's really hypocritical. Like, I would not trust a doctor if they were not, if they didn't look like what they were telling me.
Yeah.
So really practicing those things, practicing mindfulness, trying to really work on that work-life balance, and I'm still working on it. I kind of got a lot of setbacks in ICU. That's long hours, you're eating trash.
Right?
Yeah, you're waking up early. And, but I'm going to try to get back on that and try to balance that before residency starts. That's one of the ways I was dealing with my stress. And another important thing with dealing with anxiety and stress is reaching out to people. I learned in third year how important that is of not just staying in your corner and struggling alone, but more so making sure that you are relying on the resources that you have. There are people who care about you very much, and until you tap into that, you're going to feel alone and you're going to struggle alone and nobody can help you. Just like with being a doctor, if my patients don't tell me what's wrong with them, I can't do anything. Same thing goes for you. Yeah, so relying on friends, listening to your body, taking the time to do what works for you, even if other people are beating the books 24/7. If that doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. You have your own journey, you're unique, God made you special, God made you unique. You have to have what works for you at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I've definitely seen you prioritize yourself more and put your health first over the years, and I think it's definitely a learning process that you learn as you're going through this whole journey.
Yeah.
And then one thing I forgot to mention, you started kind of the blood pressure check team at Rubidoux with the medical students.
Kinda, yeah.
Not kinda. You recruited me.
I did.
You volunteered us. And I was voluntold. But I mean, it's been great. I think the church members really value the advice that you give them, and they can tell that you genuinely care about them and their well-being. And it's like you can tell them through our own experiences. We know.
Yeah.
Self-care is important.
Or else your body's gonna make you take it.
Yeah.
I think with the pressure project that we got recruited, we started and then we got recruited into Healthy Heart Nation. Basically, they go into the community and they do blood pressure screenings in underserved neighborhoods, really encouraging particularly Black individuals into taking care of their health, their blood pressure. They're taking taking their health by the reins and not just relying on a doctor. The blood pressure project was one of the reasons why I even chose what I chose to match into family medicine. Being able to have that connection with my patients that I didn't experience in, like, surgery's cool, OB-GYN is cool, all these different things. But being able to talk to a wide range of people, being able to sit down and educate them and learn what makes them them, and just having that time to learn who they are was one of the really pivotal things that got me into family medicine, and that would not have happened really and truly, if I hadn't raised my hand in church that day to volunteer and then to get you on board, other people on board, and really it's pushed me to be more of a leader, really and truly, even though I don't like leadership because it's a lot of stress. But at the end of the day, I was put in this position of being a physician for a reason, and that's leadership.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's necessary for growth.
And you are a leader, and you're incredibly good at it. And I think family fits you so well. I remember when we started third year. Yeah, when we started third year, you're like, oh my goodness, surgery. And then you did internal medicine. You're like, this is where I'm meant to be. And then you did family. You're like, no,
Yeah.
I found it. And I remember we were all kind of taken back. We're like, wow, okay, you're so like gung ho. But I think like you've definitely found your home in family medicine, and you really do like put that time and effort into your patients and making sure they understand.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you look into like men like twice your age's eyes. Like, you will go home and you will take your medication. And if you don't take your medication, you'll go to the ER, right?
Right.
Right?
Because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, even though that I don't have a license yet and everything, but that is my patient, and whatever happens to them at the end of the day, or from whatever I tell them, has power, and it motivates them to either negate their health or to actually seek help and get better. There was a guy that I had interviewed earlier on. He was the first really patient that I had in Rubidoux. He had a blood pressure of like 200 over 100 and something, and we kept on recording it. He already had high blood pressure, but he wasn't managing it the way he should. And after I've had that encounter with him, I was really worried because he didn't go to the ED. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna go home and take my medication." He didn't go to the ED. I was scared. I saw him next Sabbath, and I was like, "Thank God that he was alive still."
Right.
But from that day on, he went to the doctor. From that, he was starting on 2 medications. He has been coming to the blood pressure project ever since. And I guess that's one of the powers of really like looking your patients in the eye and really ensuring that they know that you trust them. Not that you trust them, that you care about them, so that they can gain that trust to know that what I'm saying isn't BS. What I'm saying is actually because I care about you, even though I don't know you from Adam. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really important. Do you have any, I guess, last words of advice for, students who are deciding what they're going to do or just dealing with the pressures overall of medical school and playing the comparison game and struggling with imposter syndrome?
Well, as a peer academic coach, one of the things that I really harp on with my mentees, particularly because I initially struggled with my academics, with dealing with mental health, just trying to learn how to emotionally manage myself and all these different things, and to not compare myself, is to one, put your blinders on. Like, it's very easy to be comparing yourself to what this person is doing, what that person is doing, and how they're doing. And when I get my 80 or something and I'm really happy because that's all I needed to pass, but then I see someone else with a 90 something and I'm like, well, dang, I shouldn't try enough. It's comparison is the theft of joy. And I think that really keeping your blinders on and focusing on you and how you did the day before, and just comparing yourself to yourself who you were yesterday is really beneficial. Also, not getting into specialties for the clout, but more so getting into things that you want to because you're passionate about it is very important. Being able to be respected in the community is really great, but it would not make you happy at the end of the day if you're every day you walk into work and you hate it.
Yeah.
So really thinking deeply about, is this something that I really want to do? Like, let's say ophthalmology or something. Do I really want to deal with eyeballs all day? Or is there something else that's my calling?
Yeah.
Another thing is to listen to yourself when you're struggling, reaching out for help. To not think that because you're not doing X, Y, and Z, that you are not going to be as good as another person. Because what makes you unique is what you're capable of. And what makes them unique is what they're capable of. And when you, like someone, one of my M2s this week had said, they're trying to get into dermatology, and they had said, oh, I'm on this committee and that committee and that committee, but in dermatology you need like thousands of publications. And that sounds crazy to me. But at the end of the day, when he was saying all the things that he's already done, I was very impressed with him. And I think comparing yourself to other people and thinking about all the things that you don't have really does steal your joy and really does make you feel inadequate. And I think what's important is to really, like I said, and I think in the previous episode, is really looking back at all you've done and acknowledging that. Because like, let's say you set goals, right? You keep on setting goals. And when you reach that one goal, you set another goal, you're never going to be happy. So really recognizing what you've already done, to celebrating the small victories in life, right? Sometimes we think I'm going to be happy when I get into medical school, and I'm going to be happy when I get into residency, and I'm going to be happy when I'm attending. But really just being happy. Oh wow, I presented 2 patients today on ICU. That's amazing. And gassing yourself up.
And you couldn't do that when you just started.
You can do that when you couldn't do that when you just started. So that's a big thing. The little goals go up to the bigger goals. I guess that's my advice. It's really a lot of focusing on yourself, not being selfish. There's a difference. Focusing on yourself, what your needs are, what your strengths are, what you've already done, celebrating the little wins that you have in life. And then also a bigger thing I think with people going into medicine is not just like, when I say don't be selfish, I mean you've been through the struggles, and I think it's very important to look back and help the people who are coming up behind you so that they don't have to struggle as much as you did. You've already paved the path. Do not be selfish with the information and the experience that you've gained. Help other people. No matter how much you think you don't know, that's more than they don't know. That's more than they know. I think that's my advice.
No, absolutely. When I started, I definitely had your same mindset and heard the similar advice of, keep blinders on. My mindset was definitely eyes straight and eyes on God. And we'll go from there. And I definitely agree that we, need to be looking behind us and lifting as we climb. And I think, everything that you said today will hopefully help someone else that's coming behind us. And
So, yeah.
Because, it's a struggle, and we definitely push through it by focusing on ourselves and focusing on how, how we've gone through everything in the past so far. Just keep pushing forward. So Courtney, I'm so glad that you came today. I was able to talk to you. Wishing you all the best as we go into interviews and interview season, and we're looking to that. So, you did great.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Scene in STEAM. I'm Jade. If you'd like to help out students studying science, technology, engineering, art,